screen is gone again. On that screen, in the yellow highlight are households that have no access to garbage disposal services. We have achieved the first one. We have eradicated poverty and hunger, and we have achieved universal primary education, but we are lagging behind in the promotion of gender equality and the empowerment of women. We are far behind in reducing child mortality. We are far behind in improving maternal health. We are on track with combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, and we are lagging behind in ensuring environmental sustainability. So this is at 29. We have made some achievements, but we have a lot to do if we are going to make 2015. And if we're not going to make 2015, then we should identify what we can achieve by 2015. So that's an important milestone in which children who are impacted by most of the MDGs are going to, we have to pay attention to that. So children born in 2012 will be 18 in 2030. Now that's when the plan says we'll be a first world country. So what we're saying is, if we take the children from 2012 and deal with their needs over the next 18 years, then 2030 they should be going into adulthood in a world that we say we should be a first world country. Well, I want you to just bear in mind that there are other certain strategic uncertainties and risks that we have to live with while we focus on children. We are extremely vulnerable to climate change. That's there. We have to figure out how to deal with our traditional trading partners. In my view, the changes associated with the Economic Partnership Agreement with the Europeans is more significant to the rural community, which incidentally is where the largest percentage of the poverty is. The poverty rate is highest in the rural areas. The changes have implications that, in my view, are more significant than emancipation. I hope I am wrong, but that is the order of magnitude. Well, the study was conducted after the survey was done, first. Secondly, some of that information is collected in the survey of living conditions. But because we wanted to do a comparison, we wanted to stay as close to the MICS, the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, as possible, because other countries that we're comparing with used a similar survey. So it is not that we don't know anything about food intake or shelter or even information. It is just that the sources where that information, we could find that information, would have made comparability a little bit tenuous. But certainly we would like to include it in a future survey so that we could compare it better. Well, we are hoping to organize research as a process. Actually, I think that a lot of this work needs to be incorporated in our education programs so that our young people themselves are involved. And there are other special groups of importance. You are interested in the youth, which I think the age group for that is between 18 and 24 or 25 or something like that. And that's absolutely a critical group to look at. Especially since lots of these children are moving into that age group there. So your recommendation is well taken. I'm suggesting to you, though, the urgency of that, because it won't be too long before we have to concentrate on the problems of the aged. Well, I certainly couldn't deny, we're looking at human development, particularly development of the child, so we have all aspects are important, and it depends upon the balance with which we bring them together. I'm suggesting to you that there are areas that require further investigation that are relevant to Jamaica. For example, the issue of security, which is quite relevant to Jamaica. We don't need to make a case for that. You are suggesting that there's a case to be made for problems of governance. I imagine in the broadest sense, governance of our schools, governance of our families, governance of our community organizations, that these are real issues. How do we deal with it? So I take your point. In defense, I would say this is our first step, and we had to operate according to a common methodology. And those were not issues that were targeted in the common methodology. However, we need to learn from this here in Jamaica and see how to modify this study that will help us to track our own development over time instead of just concentrating on comparing ourselves with other countries. That's important, but it's also important to compare ourselves with standards that we set for ourselves. Now, when we do that, I am sure governance is going to be in the sense, or in my preference would be in the broad sense in which I have mentioned governance, meaning the management of our social institutions, including the state, would definitely enter into the issue, yes. Yeah, I found it difficult to accept myself. And in fact, when you look at the data a little closer, you find that the deprivation rates are higher in the urban areas, where you would think that because they are closer to institutions that offer health medical services, they'll be able to access them much more. So it seems quite anomalous to me, and certainly is an area that I think we need to look more closely at. However, I take sleep and mark death, and therefore what I'm saying is that we need to redouble our attention at it. If it is that we are overestimating it, it nevertheless says that there is some element of deprivation there that we need to address. And in the context of the increased tightening of the resources, it seems to me that we have to give a greater attention now to preventative, to be dealing with well-being, the wellness of the children, and that then feeds back into the whole human development thing. So I did find it myself quite anomalous that the deprivation rates for health were so high.
Children speak out against poverty. Watch it make me talk, although me mouth dirty. Skin full of rash, mouth white, it all a hurt me. Lord God, hunger just girt me. Me say me thirsty. Children speak out against poverty. Watch it make me talk, although me mouth dirty. Skin full of rash, all a hurt me. Lord God, hunger just girt me. Me poor, but me not pessimistic. Me optimistic. I shall rise to the optimum, although my mom is a mummy, dead to the care of her picnic, work 3 jobs sake of poverty. My daddy known as manly, cause that's all him can afford for giving, bi-monthly. Please bring Shira a little nearer. You hear her? Children speak out against poverty. Malnourished picnic. 1 man with 6 car, 5 house platinum chain, CEO. Oh no! Do you really care? Look at your scornful stare. Beware. Are you see what we are talking? You see me now. Children speak out against poverty. Watch him let me talk. I'll do my mouth dirty. Skin full of rush. What it all hurt me. Lord God, hunger just girt me. Just girt me. Gangrene brains, sewage lanes, guns more expensive than houses, chinks, roaches, crab louses. I see you all sweating. Allow me. Leave me, let me express my grosses. My grosses. When me speak, me know why you like me. When me speak, don't try to fight me. When me speak, you not fi highlight me. You not fi write me. Close your eyes. You don't even fi sight me. Germs. How what you try to do? Spite me? Spite me? Me so poor. My gum sore. Me can't talk no more. Let the drums speak for the voiceless. Let the drums speak for the voiceless.
Ah! See that? Feel out so him can't talk. So super we have to start back. Life rough. But right now, do we have me pour my hand so me can't play drum no more?
Children speak out against poverty.
I want to thank